Ebisha for a year in summer hodona, the Viara, Costo, my Ghana Masi. A high Casa TV, message of subscribe to Casa TV. You like, you comment, you share, and then you click on the notification button for more news updates. So, my Ghana Masi in your election and your election. Your kasi election delegate better about the flag bearer of a political party, and then a baba Ghana for a year we 18 years and above also want the right to go and vote. Now be nipa per se on the next flag bearer, and I said the next president for the Republic of Ghana. So Sisia nipa 7 be Tom West was said they don't understand the fact that I was a delegate from Kwan and a two about a flag bearer for a political party, and somebody has sent me a copy mu e court. Now Bishop for Sisia no mudi copy mu court no, and the court now say a ruling. At the end of the day, no court say okay. Say you're a political party now I was a flag bearer. I was a penny for a war party no. And I say, yan can sample for party no. Obi biara our quenya say or two abanibi normally a flag bearer. Not only the delegates was almost about a flag bearer. And here we no nache say a nipa 7 young muda say me a copy of court a 7 panel na and no motnas and nache say o maka a asem no ama nipa 7 no modi asem no copy of courts. Now Abisha for asemi ebe 2 day MPP and then NDC, we know so those two political parties and the big major parties what Ghana sisia you can parties or mujo mudia these two parties MPP and then NDC. Ayo man who ebi so ayo mo say oh okay asem we am copy more court today any necessary. At the same time people think say ebema flag bearership no leadership no be choosing no ebe difficult for them because anybody nyina eto abadia. That means say even say majority and answer minority be near a political party man na ye nipa na one any delegates number to abani bino ebema or no nipa na ye person be flag bearer for a political party or no and a bit me about be a flag bearer for that political party. In some brenana ekoso ewe my Ghana must say the response of Asiedu Nketia and then other political members of a political party. And to make person myself brother come on near boom answer and message subscribe to Nkasa TV. You like, you comment, you share, and then click on the notification button for more news updates.
Election. We have details from the Apex Court. In a day, it delivered a major boost to the country's anti-corruption fight, ruling that the OSP has authorization to prosecute corruption-related cases. Coming up this afternoon, as our President of Gabon commends Ghana's ongoing reforms in the mining sector, describing them as a big step towards improving transparency. Also in this bulletin, we'll tell you about the struggle people with plus-size feet face in finding a simple pair of shoes. We'll bring you more in Joy News feature titled A Walk in My Shoe. We're coming to you live from our studios here in Kukumlimni, Accra. We're also live on DSTV, channel 421 and GoTV, channel 125. Please stay for more details.
To use in a live radio broadcast on a Nkwanta-based radio station beyond FM, they called on their folks to lay down their arms while they pursue non-violent means.
Many thanks for staying with us. First in the news this afternoon, the Supreme Court has tracked down Ghana's long-standing political party delegate system, ruling that all registered members of political parties must be given the opportunity to vote in the party internal elections. The landmark decision, which could fundamentally reshape the way political parties select their leaders and parliamentary and presidential candidates, gives political parties 1 year to bring their internal electoral systems in line with the ruling. The Apex Court has delivered another major judgment with significant implication for Ghana's fight against corruption, dismissing a challenge to the prosecutorial powers of the Office of the Special Prosecutor. Now, that ruling effectively affirms the OSP's authority to independently prosecute corruption and corruption-related offences, resolving the major constitutional dispute over the extent of its powers. Now, let's go to the Supreme Court now, where my colleagues Kweku Asante and Fatal Bayaga are our legal affairs desk, standing by with details on this. First, let's start with you, Kweku. On the decision of the court first, how exactly did the Supreme Court rule on the political parties' delegate system? And what does this really mean for the way forward, especially the way parties conducted their internal elections?
You will recall that Professor Frimpong Boateng, Dr. Nahonya Otamaklo, and Dr. Christina Nyama filed an action at the Supreme Court insisting that every person that is registered in a political party must be allowed to vote because the delegate system is unconstitutional. And the court today have agreed with them in a 5-2 decision. If you look at the panel that heard this case, in Chief Justice Bafoboni, Justice Gabriel Poaman, Justice Tanko, Justice Gaiwu, Justice Asiedu, Justice Jamefe, and Justice Subari. These 7 judges sat on these constitutional matters, and 5 of them agreed that the delegate system is unconstitutional and must be outlawed, and that Justice Asiedu and Justice Gaiwu actually disagreed and they dissented. So ultimately, what this means is that political parties must allow every single person that is registered to vote in, that has actually registered as a member of the political party to vote in the internal election of the political parties as per this 5-2 decision. There is a little window there because the court has given them 1 year within which to implement this decision. It is unclear what this will mean because, for instance, the NDC has scheduled some election for December 19, which will be within that 1 year window. Is it that they can go back and use the delegate system as they prepare to fully implement that 1 year system? So we will get to see. But the big decision is that by 5-2 decision, delegate system has been held to be unconstitutional, and every other person that has actually registered as a member of political party is allowed to vote in the party election.
Well, Kweku, we'll get some reactions on that, but let me stay with you a little longer and turn our attention to the OSP and its prosecutorial powers. What was the basis of the court's decision, and what does this really mean for the special prosecutor going forward?
Again, this was also an identical panel, 7-member panel. Justice Bafoboni, the Chief Justice, was the presiding member. Poaman, Lovelace, Johnson, Kolendi, Gaewu, Jamefe, and Subari. 7-member unanimously holding that if you look at a combined reading of Section 3 and 4 of the Special Prosecutors Act and also the LI that set up the office, it is obvious that the Attorney General has given authorization for the Special Prosecutor to prosecute corruption and corruption-related offenses. If you look again, we know that Noah Ephraim Adamte was contending that because of Article 88, it is only the Attorney General that can make determination on some of these matters and had to expressly authorize the OSP to act the way that it wanted to when it came to prosecution. Today, the court disagreed with Noah Ephraim Adamte. Of course, they held that by Article 88, all prosecutorial powers vest in the Attorney General. He has the power to initiate prosecutions in the name of the Republic, unless he has so authorized some other persons to do so. And so they look at Section 3 and 4 of the OSP Act and the LI and come to the conclusion that the OSP has been authorized and that that authorization may be rescinded by an amendment of the law. And so that is also a very major decision that clears the way for the special prosecutor to go ahead and continue prosecuting cases. As we've seen in the last few weeks, the cases have all grounded to a halt because of this case and some judgments of the High Court. But the path is now clear for Kisiaja Bain and his men and women at the Office of the Special Prosecutor to do their work.
Well, thank you so much, Kweku. These are two major landmark cases in Ghana. Definitely, you'll be bringing us more subsequently. But let's bring you Fatal Bayaga, who's been tracking the reactions to these two major judgments. Fatal, tell me, the OSP's prosecutorial powers have been the subject of intense debate or maybe scrutiny. What reactions are you getting on today's ruling, particularly from lawyers and anti-corruption campaigners?
So for the anti-corruption campaigners, this is a major step towards fighting corruption, because over the period the OSP is unable to prosecute the high-profile cases, including the SML MPA case involving the former boss Mustafa Abdul Hamid, among other high-profile cases, and it's because of this particular decision. And in fact, they say that today the Supreme Court, presided over by Chief Justice Paul Bafubani, has opened the way, and this is a very good step. In fact, the lawyers themselves say that it's a good step, and now the OSP can go ahead to begin its prosecutions. And in fact, they also say that based on the decision of the Supreme Court, there will still be some constitutional amendments in order to make the OSP operate freely. We can take a listen to them.
What's the